Hi, I'm Barbara from DXOMARK, here to talk to you about the Honor 30 Pro Plus, the latest release from the subsidiary company of Huawei. While the Honor 30 Pro Plus contains some of the same innovative technology found in the parent company's P40 Pro, it uses those features in different ways, making this device stand out as an imaging powerhouse in its own right. Let's take a closer look and see how it did in DXOMARK's tests. The Honor 30 Pro Plus has a triple camera setup. A primary camera with a large 50 megapixel sensor similar to the one on the Huawei P40 Pro but without optical image stabilization. A telecamera featuring a periscope-style lens with a 125mm equivalent focal length, and this one comes with optical image stabilization, and an ultra-wide camera with a 17mm lens. The phone is capable of shooting 4K video at 2160p 60 frames per second, but its default setting is 1080p 30 frames per second. The 30 Pro Plus showed good exposure across all light levels and a very wide dynamic range, even in challenging high-contrast scenes. In these comparisons, all three devices offered good dynamic range, but exposure on the subject's face was better for the Honor. Also, the 30 Pro Plus was more capable of avoiding highlight clipping in the background than the Xiaomi Mi 10 Pro. Overall, the Honor 30 Pro Plus delivers very good color in its still images, with pleasant color rendering, good saturation, and accurate white balance. However, some yellow tones can look slightly too orange, and sometimes colors look a bit unnatural in low light. When it comes to autofocus, the Honor 30 Pro Plus performed flawlessly under all conditions in our tests, whether shooting in bright outdoor light to very dimly lit scenes. Meanwhile, in our lab tests, the Honor's autofocus was not only swift but accurate in all light conditions. Just take a look at these examples. Noise is hardly visible, even in the shadow areas of the frame. Both the Apple iPhone 11 Pro Max and Xiaomi Mi 10 Pro show noticeably higher noise levels. With a 5x optical telezoom, the Honor 30 Pro Plus delivers great zoom images, but at long range there were a few artifacts. Still, texture and noise remained balanced. In bright light comparisons, like the one here, you can see that the detail trails that of the Huawei P40 Pro, but it is noticeably better than the Apple iPhone 11 Pro Max. At mid-range zoom, we easily noticed some strong fusion artifacts in the center and corners of the frame. In portrait mode, Bokeh has a natural look in good light. Depth estimation is also good, and images have a pleasant depth of field. The Honor 30 Pro Plus ultra-wide camera offers a 17mm equivalent focal length, which is a touch wider than the Huawei P40 Pro, but noticeably narrower than the cameras from Apple, Samsung, and other competitors. In these comparisons, you can see that both the Apple iPhone 11 Pro Max and Xiaomi Mi 10 Pro squeeze a little more scene into their ultra-wide images than the Honor. However, the Honor 30 Pro Plus's image distortion is fairly well controlled, although more visible than on the Mi 10 Pro. Now let's take a look at the camera's dedicated night mode, in which the camera analyzes the low light situation. We found that night mode produced good exposures, even in very low light, but color rendering was often slightly off, with a slight greenish color cast visible. How does the Honor 30 Pro Plus perform at night? Well, it's among the best we've seen to date. In flash auto mode, night portraits tend to show good subject exposure and color, but occasionally the flash didn't trigger for portraits, and as a result, the subject was heavily underexposed. The flash auto mode really works best for static scenes. We had some ghosting and motion blur when shooting moving objects. With the flash off, target exposure was usually good, but colors looked a little unnatural. A loss of detail was noticeable, but noise was well managed. We tested and scored the camera's video mode at 4K resolution at 2160p 30 frames per second, which offered the overall best results. Video mode on the Honor 30 Pro Plus performed well in all test categories. Autofocus was fast and accurate with good tracking, and the video stabilization system counteracted both camera shake and walking motion. It was only in low-light indoor conditions that we saw some white balance instabilities, and in very low light, colors looked a little washed out. Here are the pros and cons of the Honor 30 Pro Plus. The pros: wide dynamic range, low noise, fast autofocus, good stabilization. The cons: loss of sharpness in medium range zoom, low saturation in low light, and white balance instabilities in low light and indoor conditions. The Honor 30 Pro Plus achieved an overall DXOMARK score of 125. In the photo category, its impressive score of 136 was powered by autofocus, zoom, and exposure. In the video category, high points in autofocus, stabilization, and color earned it a score of 104. Thanks for watching! We'll have more videos coming soon, so check us out at DXOMARK.com.